What is going on, all of my fellow commanders out there in the world? I am MegaAmpster. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you are new here, hey, welcome to the channel. Great to see you here. If you're a returning viewer, hey, always good to see you come back. Thank you for the continued support and so close to 500 subscribers. I really appreciate that. But we are here today to talk about a new release coming up in just a week as of this recording. I made a video for this for Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, and I wanted to do something similar for this game as well. This game being Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. Now, I've become more and more excited for this release as I've gone on. Just to clarify, I've never played the original game, so I have not played Advance Wars before, but I wanted to kind of jump in here and give you all kind of my thoughts, my top 5 reasons why you should be interested in this game and interested in picking this up. I know the Tears of the Kingdom marketing is definitely burying this game for sure. I wish Nintendo was marketing this game better, but nonetheless, they had an overview trailer they released a week ago as of this recording, and just playing that in the background here. But I wanted to give you my top 5 reasons why you should buy this game. No particular order, just some thoughts here that I want to share with all of you. So, first of all, the presentation, right? These two games being originally Game Boy Advance titles. As you can see by the trailer, obviously, it's a lot cleaned up, but the art style is kind of like this cartoony, like toy-looking aesthetic, which I feel like fits this game pretty well from what we've seen. It looks really good in motion. The character designs look great, more on that later, but like just like the thick, not super thick, but like the stylized version of the outlines around them looks really good. And the gameplay itself looks really good in motion. Not only does it look great in terms of the art style, in my personal opinion, but we've seen there are some cutscenes. I'm going to skip back to the beginning of this trailer where they actually show off. It seems like it's going to be limited, but there will be some cutscenes. There also is some voice acting too. We've heard some lines from some of the characters, like Andy, the main character, as well as a few others here and there, who will have occasional voice lines. So overall, like, they're really cleaning this up. The UI looks clean. I just think this is a really good looking game. And like, obviously it's not breaking any boundaries or standards with like graphical fidelity or anything, but it just looks really good in motion. You know, just looking at this here, like, I can't sit here and say this is an ugly looking game. You know, all the vehicles on the map stand out. The environments are probably the thing that's like the least interesting looking, but you can at least distinguish them and, you know, be able to tell like the enemy units and the tanks and the cities and everything from the map, which really does matter a lot. So that's good to see here. And it's pretty, to me at least, it's personally a very pleasing to look at. So number 1 reason. Number 2 reason, of course, the main reason why you're playing a game is the gameplay. Now, Fire Emblem fans in particular, you might be interested in this one because while I don't know if this is really considered an RPG, it might be more of an RTS game, it is a turn-based strategy game. So essentially how it's going to work is like you can kind of see there's a similar grid-based system to like classic, and I think even still modern Fire Emblem does. And you're kind of engaging enemy units and you are attacking them in a turn-based kind of style like that, but you're strategizing where you're placing these units, and you're also, from what I can tell, like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, haven't played Advance Wars before, but from what I am gaining from these trailers is that you're kind of also trying to take over enemy cities and stuff. I'm almost like reminded a little bit of like the Hyrule Warriors games where you're taking over enemy command posts, but you're kind of building your own cities up, and I think from there you can kind of build and deploy troops. So, and like you can see here, you're purchasing different vehicles and different things like that, which is really cool. So, I mean, honestly, like, the closest comparison I have is Fire Emblem, but that's not even really a close comparison. It still kind of stands in its own right. But if you're a Fire Emblem fan in terms of the gameplay, I feel like this might appeal to you. And, you know, personally looking at it, I'm not the biggest strategy fan, but like, I still enjoy it from time to time, as long as it doesn't get like super difficult. There were some Fire Emblem games that really got tough for me and I can never finish. So I'm really hoping this game doesn't end up being too difficult. I don't imagine it will be, but like it provides enough of a challenge, you know, and like hopefully difficulty options. I'm sure those are in there, but like just the gameplay itself looks like it could be really fun. Being able to build like different units, it seems like really like an RTS style game, which I've also not dived into too much, but I think that could really make this a fun time. And like they're showing off some of these characters have like unique power-ups. The commanders of these armies, like the superpowers, like this Eagle dude, I think his name is Eagle, has here. Eagle might be my favorite. I'm just gonna say, I know it's random, but I'm just gonna say that he looks cool. But all the characters look great. But in terms of the gameplay, it looks like it could be a really fun time, and that at least there's gonna be a variety of environments to go through, and just a variety of just like opponents to come across too. Look at all these characters you can come across too, and I'm sure they all have their own special abilities and stuff. So that's really cool. And they're obviously going to have like more attack versus defense and stuff like that. So a lot of cool stuff going on here with the gameplay. I think there's a ton of potential in terms of the gameplay. So like I mentioned, Fire Emblem fans, maybe you'll get a kick out of this, but even if not, I think, to me, honestly, this looks simpler than Fire Emblem to me. You know how Fire Emblem can sometimes get a little complicated in terms of stats and everything. It seems this game looks a lot simpler. This is from me not even playing it. I'm sure it goes in depth if you wanted to, but like I feel like it seems fairly approachable, I think. But personally, that's just my kind of outlook on it. But that is the number 2 reason why you should pick up this game. Number 3 is the value. I mean, yeah, this is a $60 game, but you're getting 2 games in one. Now, I don't know how long it takes to complete these games, but I imagine it's a decent amount of time for each game, considering their, turn-based strategy games tend to be quite lengthy. Maybe not like quite RPG length. Some are for sure, and some are longer in some cases, But like the value here is they're 2 games in one, and even on that, they're adding online, so you can do online. I think they said with random people, or you can do online with like fighting against different people and stuff like that, which is super cool. You can also create your own maps, I guess. There's like a design room, a custom map you can make. So the value here is ridiculous. If you're personally, I'm not always like, oh, like bang for your buck kind of person. I'll take like a short 10-hour game for $60, like a Metroid Dread, right? I love that game. That was worth every penny for me. But if you're one of those people who really is like aiming for that get all the bang for your buck kind of thing, I mean, this game is it. You've got 2 games that have been visually and just like in terms of gameplay remastered from the Game Boy Advance of all things in this package, along with, a gallery 2, online modes, and being able to make your own custom maps. And I think you can play those online. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can. Like, the value here is off the charts. Like, in terms of first-party Nintendo games, this might be one of the most in terms of value here. So, hey, it's great to see. And if you're one of those people who really, values the value proposition, here you go. This is a perfect example for you. That is number 3. Number 4, that is a big deal to me, and I don't know how much it'll be, how much of a deal it'll be to other people, but it is personally to me, and that is the fact that Nintendo is actually partnering with WayForward for this game. So, if you play the Shantae games before, WayForward's known for that. They did a DuckTales remastered, River City Girls, River City Girls Zero, I think, as well. There's a bunch of games that they have done. And, I mean, if you played the recent Shantae games since Half Genie Hero, I mean, the art style pretty much looks similar to that. But I think, like I said, the art style fits this game super well. But it's great to see Nintendo kind of lend these IPs to other companies. The most recent big deal that I can think of, at least, bring up another one if I'm not remembering correctly, was with the Crypt of the Necrodancer team when they worked on that Cadence of Hyrule Zelda game, which apparently was received pretty well from what I could tell. This is definitely less risky in that obviously that was Zelda, like one of their forefront franchises, right? You could argue they like the franchise, maybe besides Mario. But Advance Wars, obviously, it's not been a huge franchise for Nintendo. It never really has been, but like it's less of a risk, but it's really cool to see these kinds of partnerships because WayForward is a great company. They make really good games, and their kind of style and aesthetic, I think, fits this game super well from what we're seeing. And it looks like they've done a phenomenal job with this game from the trailers, from what we can see. So that has me really excited. And personally, I just love WayForward, so I wanted to kind of shout them out and give them, a little bit of props here and specifically point to them as one of the reasons to buy this game because I think it's kind of cool, I think Nintendo, especially for IPs like this, and this kind of goes into point number 5, with IPs like this that are, less risky, I think giving these to other developers, I think, is a great idea. And like I said, that goes into point number 5, which is the fact that this is an old kind of legacy IP of Nintendo, and we don't see these games a lot. I would put this in the camp of F-Zero. I would put this in the... Star Fox, not quite. I think Star Fox is a little bit above that because, I mean, we had Zero not that long ago. This is like, what? Custom Robo, Chibi Robo, any of the deep cuts too. Like, I mean, maybe the closest comparison to this is Golden Sun, just because they were both on the Game Boy Advance. I think they each had like at least 2, maybe 3 games. I saw something about Advance Wars Days of Ruin, which I don't believe is included in this package. It's just the first one, and what is it, Black Hole Rising, I think, the second one. So I would honestly, I feel like the best comparison in terms of like the status of the IP is with Golden Sun, because neither have seen any love from Nintendo. I mean, we're getting Golden Sun on the Game Boy Advance end, so apparently they haven't said anything about Advance Wars, but I doubt it at this point, considering this game is a thing. But who knows? They could prove us wrong. We have the OG Link's Awakening there. But like, it's the fact that Nintendo is even doing anything with this IP is awesome. It's great to see them pulling from their back catalog and bring it up into the modern day and age, and it looks great. I'm just like mesmerized whenever watching the trailers for this game. Just seeing it in action and seeing the characterization between it all, and just clearly the love and support put in by WayForward and Nintendo for sure into this IP that hasn't seen a lot of action in quite a long time. So it's just really great to see. I really hope they do this with other series like F-Zero, like Chibi Robo, franchises, series like Golden Sun. You know, I would love to see them kind of do more with that. We'll see. Who knows? Who knows? But it's great to see them actually reach into the back catalog for this. So those are the 5 reasons in no particular order. They are all great reasons: presentation, gameplay, value, partnership, and the legacy. The 5 reasons that you should be interested in this game. It's obviously coming at a difficult time because, especially with the final trailer of Tears of the Kingdom just dropping yesterday as of this recording, everybody is hyped for that game, and this game is probably going to get overshadowed. I don't expect this to sell well, but I pre-ordered it. I won't be playing it right away. I'm actually going to save it for when I'm done, when I'm back from my break from streaming. I do want to stream the first game. Because I think this could be a really fun game, you know? And I personally want to support games like this where these IPs that are so old are brought back into the modern day, you know? And that's great to see. So I personally want to support this game. And hey, if you're interested, hopefully my video helped kind of clarify some things. So let me know in the comments below what you think. If this actually helped convince you to buy the game, you know, or if it didn't, definitely just let me know any of your thoughts on this game. Have you pre-ordered it? Are you planning on picking it up? Have you played the original games before? Definitely let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you on the next live stream or video. Until then, take care. Also, secret reason number 6, Nell Gang. Definitely not a Nell simp. Goodbye.